All right, so you want to know more about ECWID? Huh? We're going to really break it down today and see if it's the right e-commerce platform for your online business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, picking the right platform is it's really important.
Yeah,
It's kind of like choosing the foundation for your house. You don't want to build on sand, right?
definitely not. We don't want any shaky businesses.
Mm.
And lucky for us, we've got a great guide for this deep dive
Oh
today.
yeah.
Yeah, it's this blog post from blogwidow.com called ECWID and how it can help online businesses become successful. And it was just published last week on February 18th, 2025.
So it's fresh.
Super fresh, insights galore.
That's awesome. Actually, it's interesting that ECWID stands for e-commerce widget,
Yeah.
which I think already kind of gives you a clue about its approach.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, imagine being able to tap into all that traffic of a busy shopping mall, but you don't have to build your own store from scratch.
Oh, okay.
You just set up shop.
So instead of starting from zero with ECWID, it's more like you're setting up shop inside of an already busy place. Okay, I like that. That makes sense. But
Right.
for those of us who aren't tech wizards, what is ECWID exactly?
Sure. So it's a cloud-based platform, which basically means you don't have to download any software or anything like that.
Okay.
It's more like a little piece of code, like a widget that you add to your existing website or your blog or even a social media page.
Mm-hmm.
And bam, instant storefront.
So if I've already got, say, a website where I share my photography, I don't need to build a whole separate online shop.
Exactly.
That's huge. That would save so much time.
Yeah. And that's one of the really big advantages of it. It really lowers the barrier to entry for entrepreneurs.
Right.
But it's not just about easy setup. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
So let's dive into, some of those benefits and some real world examples.
Okay, perfect. Because easy is great and all, but I need to know if it can actually handle my business needs, you know?
Of course. Yeah.
What is the blog post highlighting as the main benefits?
Well, first off, integration's a big one. Let's say you have that photography website, right?
Yeah.
And you decide you want to sell prints directly to people who visit your site.
Okay.
With ECWID, adding a shopping cart to your site is literally a few clicks.
Oh, wow.
There's no coding, no need to hire a developer or anything like that. It's just suddenly you're in business.
Okay, see, now that's the kind of easy I'm talking about.
Exactly.
But what about reaching people beyond my website, though? Isn't multi-channel selling a big deal these days?
Oh, it's huge. And ECWID is totally designed for it. So picture this. You're managing all of your products in one central dashboard.
Okay.
But they're available for sale on your website, on your Facebook page, on Instagram, even on marketplaces like Amazon.
Whoa.
You're basically hitting all the major spots where customers shop online.
Okay, so I'm not just stuck on one platform then.
Right.
That's awesome. That's great for reaching a wider audience.
Exactly.
But let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this works. How do I actually manage all of those different sales channels? I feel like I'd go crazy.
Well, think of your ECWI dashboard as like mission control.
Okay.
You update, your product information, the pricing inventory all in one place.
Uh-huh.
And then those changes sync across all of your sales channels automatically.
What?
Yep. No more juggling separate systems or manually updating your stock levels for every single place.
That sounds pretty efficient, I've got to say.
Oh, it is.
And what about mobile shopping? It feels like everyone's just glued to their phones constantly these days.
It's absolutely crucial. And ECWID really gets this. Your store will automatically adjust to look great on any screen size.
Oh, wow.
So whether someone's on their phone, on a tablet, on their desktop, it doesn't matter. There's no extra work for you.
Okay. That seamless mobile experience is key for sure. Now, another thing that can really make or break a sale for me is payment options.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Customers want to be able to pay in the way that they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
ECWID actually integrates with a ton of payment gateways.
Okay.
PayPal, Stripe, Square, and a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
This means that you can offer your customers, that flexibility that they expect, which builds trust and encourages them to actually complete their purchases.
So it's not even just about accepting payments. It's about making people feel comfortable checking out.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But even with all of that, what good is an online store if no one can find it right?
Oh, yeah, that's where SEO comes in.
SEO?
SEO. So SEO, or search engine optimization, is all about making sure that your store shows up in search results when people are searching for products like yours.
Right.
Now, I know SEO can sound kind of intimidating, but ECWID actually makes it pretty simple.
Okay.
It lets you add keywords and descriptions to your products in a way that's really easy to understand, even if you're not a tech expert.
So it's like having a built-in SEO guide.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's great for beginners, especially. And speaking of making things accessible, let's talk about pricing. I've heard that ECWID has a free plan. Is that true?
They do.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a fantastic option for anyone who's just starting out. You can list up to 10 products, which gives you a chance to get comfortable with the platform, see if it's a good fit for your business, and even start making some sales before you have to commit to a paid plan.
Okay, so we've got ease of use, multi-channel selling, mobile optimization, flexible payments, built-in SEO help, and a free plan.
Yep.
That's a pretty impressive package, I gotta say.
Yeah.
But how does ECWID stack up against those big names in e-commerce, like Shopify?
That's a great question, and that's really where those competitor comparisons come in.
Right, let's break them down. Shopify seems super popular, but I've heard it can get expensive. Is that the main difference?
It's a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
Think of Shopify as like building a custom mansion.
Okay.
You have tons of flexibility, lots of room to grow, but there's a significant investment up front, right? ECWID, on the other hand, is more like renting a stylish apartment in a trendy neighborhood. You benefit from the existing infrastructure and the amenities without that huge upfront cost. You can move in quickly and start enjoying all the benefits right away.
Okay, so it's about finding the right level of commitment and cost for you.
Exactly.
Now, how about WooCommerce? I know it's popular with WordPress users, but I've also heard it can be a bit techy.
Yeah, you're right. WooCommerce is powerful, but it can definitely be complex. It's kind of like building a piece of furniture from scratch.
Okay.
You need to know what you're doing and have the right tools.
Right.
ECWID is more like buying a well-designed, ready-to-assemble piece.
Yeah.
You still have some control over the final look, but the process is so much simpler and faster.
So it's about balancing control with ease of use.
Exactly.
All right, last comparison, BigCommerce. What's the key differentiator there?
So big commerce like Shopify is really focused on building those large-scale online businesses. It's like renting a massive warehouse. You have tons of space and resources, but you also need a substantial budget and a team to manage it effectively.
Right.
ECWD is more like having a pop-up shop or a well-stocked kiosk. It's perfect for starting smaller and scaling up as you grow without needing a huge investment up front.
Okay, so we explored that competitive landscape. Now let's dig into the pros and cons of ECW itself. What are the big wins for businesses considering this platform?
Well, free plan's a huge draw for obvious reasons, but beyond that, the ease of use is a major advantage. And then, that multi-platform selling is a game changer. You can truly meet customers where they are.
Okay, but every platform has its limitations. What are some potential downsides to ECWID we should be aware of?
Well, you're right. No platform's perfect, and ECWI is no exception.
Oh.
One thing the blog post mentions is that while ECW has a really solid set of core features, some of those more advanced functions might require additional apps or add-ons.
So it's kind of like starting with a base model car and then adding upgrades as your needs change.
Yeah, exactly. You get all the essentials to get up and running, but for those extra features, there might be an additional cost.
I see.
Things like, advanced SEO tools that can help you really fine-tune your store's visibility in the search results, or email marketing automation to really nurture those customer relationships, or even specialized integrations with certain shipping providers to streamline your fulfillment process.
Okay, so for someone who's starting out, the core ECWID platform might be enough, but as you grow and your needs become more complex, then you might start to look into those add-ons.
Exactly. It's about finding that right balance between cost and functionality.
Right.
And speaking of control, another point the blog post brings up is that ECWID's customization options might not be as extensive as some of its competitors.
Oh, right. We kind of touched on that earlier when we were comparing it to platforms like WooCommerce. So if someone wants complete control over every single design element of their online store, ECWID might not be the best fit.
Yeah, that's fair. ECWID really prioritizes ease of use and that streamlined setup.
Yeah.
Which means you're working within their design framework.
Okay.
It's like choosing a beautifully designed, pre-built website template that you can customize with your own, branding, colors, fonts, that kind of thing. You have a good degree of flexibility, but you're not building from scratch.
So it's more about making smart choices within a well-defined system rather than having unlimited design freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot, between ease of use and customization. And this approach can actually be a major advantage, especially for people who aren't, design savvy or don't want to spend hours messing with code.
Right. That makes sense, especially for, busy entrepreneurs who just want to focus on their products and their customers, not web design.
Totally.
Now, I know we talked about the free plan being a great starting point, but the blog post also mentioned that there are some limitations. So what are some of the key things to consider there?
Well, as you might expect, The free plan is really designed for those who are, just dipping their toes into e-commerce. It allows you to list up to 10 products, which is great for testing the waters and getting a feel for the platform, but it might not be suitable for a business with a large inventory.
Right. It's like a sample platter rather
Right.
than the full buffet. You get a taste, but you'll need to upgrade for the full experience.
What about features? Are there any, key features that are missing from the free plan that would be essential for a growing business?
One that comes to mind is abandoned cart recovery.
Oh, yeah.
This is a powerful feature that can really boost your sales. It basically allows you to automatically send emails to customers who left items in their cart without completing the purchase,
Right.
reminding them about, those potential purchases and enticing them to come back and finish checking out.
So it's like a gentle nudge to those who might have just gotten distracted or needed a little extra push to finalize their decision.
Exactly. And it's a feature that's becoming super important,
Mm.
in this competitive world of online shopping.
Customers are just bombarded with options. So anything that you can do to recapture their attention and encourage them to complete their purchases can make a big difference to your bottom line.
For sure.
But this feature, along with a few others, is only available on ECWE's paid plans.
Okay, so while the free plan is awesome for getting started, it's important to be aware of its limitations and understand, when it might be time to consider upgrading to a paid plan to access some of those more advanced features. But how do you know which paid plan is right for you?
That's where, a little bit of analysis comes in. You need to take a close look at your business needs and your growth projections. How many products do you plan to offer? What features are essential for your success? What's your budget for e-commerce tools? ECWD offers a range of plans to accommodate different business sizes and requirements. So it's really about finding the one that aligns best with, your current stage and your future aspirations.
So it's about being strategic and thinking ahead rather than just like jumping into the first plan you see.
Precisely. And ECWID makes it easy to compare plans and see exactly what's included in each one. They have clear pricing information and feature breakdowns on our website so you can make an informed decision.
That's good to know. It sounds like they're quite transparent about their pricing and, what you get for your investment.
Okay, so we've explored some of the potential limitations of ECWV, particularly regarding add-ons customization and the free plan. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's crucial to emphasize that these limitations don't necessarily mean that ECWI isn't a good choice for your business.
Oh, I completely agree. Every platform has its trade-offs, and what really matters most is finding the one that best aligns with your specific needs and goals.
So when is ECWD still a fantastic option, even with these potential limitations?
Well, if you're a small to medium-sized business that values simplicity, affordability, and multi-channel selling, ECWA remains an excellent choice. The free plan is a great way to test the waters without any financial commitment, and the paid plans offer a really scalable solution as your business grows. It's like having a reliable partner that can support you at every stage of your e-commerce journey.
Absolutely. And in the final part of our deep dive, we'll delve into some practical tips and insights on how to really maximize ECWID's potential, even if you encounter some of the limitations that we've discussed.
Okay, we are back for the final part of our ECWID deep dive.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground, from like the platform's strengths to its potential limitations. And now I think we really want to equip you with practical advice on how to make ECWID work for you, even if you, run into some of those limitations.
Definitely.
Because let's be real, every business owner is thinking about their budget.
Of course. Yeah.
So how can we maximize the value that we get from ECWID, especially if we're just starting out?
Well, the free plan is your first stop, obviously.
Oh, right.
But don't forget to take advantage of ECWID's free trial period for those paid plans.
Oh, right.
It's kind of like test driving a car before you actually buy it, you know. See if those extra features are really worth it for your business.
I love that analogy. Speaking of testing things out, what about marketing? Do you have any cost-effective tips for promoting an ECWD store?
Well, this is where ECWID's multi-channel selling really becomes a huge plus.
Yeah, okay.
Don't just sit on your website waiting for customers to magically appear.
Right.
Use your ECWID dashboard to, push your products out to Facebook, to Instagram, all those places where people are already shopping.
So it's about meeting your customers where they are rather than expecting them to come find you.
Exactly. And, all those platforms have their own free marketing tools as well.
Oh, that's right.
So, you can create really engaging posts, you can run contests, you can even, collaborate with influencers to get the word out about your store.
That's a great idea.
And don't underestimate that good old-fashioned networking.
Right.
Connect with other businesses in your niche, join online communities, all those kinds of things. Just spread the word organically.
Word of mouth is so powerful, especially when it's coming from like a trusted source.
Make it-
Now let's shift gears a little bit to design.
Sure.
We mentioned that, ECWID's customization options might not be as limitless as some other platforms.
Right.
Any tips for making our stores look really good visually, even within those constraints?
Yeah. Well, first of all, high-quality product photography is like non-negotiable.
Okay.
You're selling online,
Yeah.
right? So those images are essentially your storefront.
Yeah.
Clear, well-lit photos instantly make your store look more professional and trustworthy.
That's true. A picture is worth 1,000 words sometimes. Especially a good one.
Definitely.
What about like the written content, though? Any advice on how to write those product descriptions that actually make people want to buy?
Well, focus on the benefits, not just the features.
Okay.
So, don't just tell me your shirt is made of organic cotton. Tell me how incredibly soft it is against my skin,
Right.
how it's ethically sourced, how it'll make me feel good inside and out.
Yeah.
Speak to the customer's desires and their needs.
Make me feel like I need that shirt. All right, now, let's talk about customer support. ECWID is known for having pretty good support.
They do, yeah.
But is there anything we can do, like proactively, to maybe minimize the need for it in the first place?
Well, definitely spend some time, exploring ECWID's knowledge base and their tutorials.
Okay.
They've got a ton of resources available.
Yeah.
It's like having a comprehensive user manual at your fingertips.
Right.
Learn how to troubleshoot those common issues, and you'll save yourself a lot of time and headaches down the line.
It's always better to empower yourself with knowledge rather than having to rely on someone else to fix things for you.
Absolutely.
Any other proactive tips come to mind?
Oh, yeah, test.
Okay.
Before you launch your store, make sure everything works perfectly. Your shopping cart payment, processing, your shipping options, the whole shebang.
Right.
Have some friends or family members, go through that whole checkout process as test customers.
Oh, that's smart.
Just to catch any glitches or any confusing steps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like doing a dress rehearsal before opening night.
Exactly.
Get all those wrinkles ironed out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now let's go back to multi-channel selling for a sec.
Okay.
This is obviously one of ECWD's superpowers.
Yeah.
But how do we actually use it to reach the right customers?
It's about more than, just listing your products on a bunch of different platforms.
Okay.
Think about who you're actually trying to reach on each of those channels.
Yeah.
And then, tailor your message accordingly.
Right.
Your Instagram might be all about, stunning visuals and short, catchy captions, while your Facebook ads might be, more detailed and benefit-driven.
So speak the language of each platform.
Yeah. Understand those nuances of each audience.
Makes sense. What else should we be thinking about?
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
Try different marketing strategies, see what sticks, analyze your results, and then adjust your approach based on, what's working.
Uh-huh.
The beauty of the digital world is that you can constantly track your progress and optimize your efforts.
It's all about learning and getting better over time.
Exactly.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the final key takeaways for our listeners who are considering ECWID for their online business?
Well, I think ECWID really offers, a fantastic opportunity to jump into the world of e-commerce without a huge learning curve or, a massive upfront investment.
And even if you run into some limitations, there are creative workarounds.
Yeah.
It's about being resourceful and focusing on solutions, not the roadblocks.
Absolutely.
So dive in, experiment, have fun building your online business.
Yes. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that is a perfect note to end on, I think. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into ECWID. We hope that you've learned some valuable insights and feel empowered to either launch or grow your online presence.
Yeah. And until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.